Piston versus rotary engines. I'm sure some of you car enthusiasts have heard this sound before, but for those who haven't, this is the beautiful sound of an RX-7 rotary engine warming up its tires to begin their race. I'm sure most of you know what a piston engine is. You or your parents' cars are most likely to have a piston engine inside of it. 99.9% of car engines are piston engines in today's world. That means that there is only 0.1% of cars that have rotary engines. What's the difference? Well, the difference is that one looks like a Dorito. Just kidding. The rotary engine, also known as the Wankel engine, was invented in 1954 by a German engineer named Felix Heinrich Wankel. How does the rotary engine work? First, let's have a quick look inside. The first step of the engine's process is the air and fuel mixture that gets pumped in by a small vacuum that is created when the rotor spins. As it spins, the air and fuel gets compressed. It then gets ignited by the two spark plugs located on the sidewall. Then all that ignited fuel gets combusted, creating power for the wheels. And finally, after the combustion, all the burned fuel particles exit through the exhaust. The process is then repeated, completing the rotary engine. Rotary engines are mostly seen in Mazda vehicles. Mazda started using rotary engines in all their vehicles since 1967. Here we have a 1997 stock RX-7. The RX-7 was an old-time version of an amazing sports car, and it still is today. When you think of drifting, you think of the Mazda RX-7. Rotary engines are the engine you want if you want a small, compact, and high RPM vehicle to race with. But if you want a more street-efficient engine, you should get a V6 piston engine. The 2006 Subaru Impreza STI is a great 6-cylinder powered car for the streets. Let's have an inside look how the piston engine works. The first step is the intake stroke. As the intake valve opens, an air and fuel mixture gets sucked in by the piston's downward stroke. The second step is the compression stroke. The air and fuel mixture gets compressed by the piston's upward stroke. The third step is the power stroke. The fuel gets ignited and the air expands, forcing the piston downward. And finally, the exhaust stroke. As the exhaust valve opens, it releases the pressurized exhaust gas out the chamber. This process is then repeated, creating the piston engine. You see piston engines almost every day. It is the most commonly used engine type in the world. The very first piston engine was created in 1826 by an American man named Samuel Morley. Carl Benz designed and built his own 4-stroke engine that was used in his personal automobile that was developed in 1885. It became the very first automobile production company called Mercedes-Benz. Some cars like this 2006 Subaru Impreza STI use this piston motor for rally racing because of how much stress that can be put onto the engine. The average 6-cylinder engine lasts around 200,000 miles if it has been taken care of correctly. And finally, the piston motor is a very efficient motor and is very durable, and that is why it is used in most vehicles today. Let me know if you guys have enjoyed this video by liking and sharing it. And be sure to smash that subscribe button and leave a comment on what video I should create next.